Do not know what's trending today in the world of tech right now. Well, you're about to find out. This is insane. This is ChatGPT. It's an AI launched by OpenAI. It's a chatbot, not just an average chatbot. This is an intelligent chatbot that actually can translate uh, your words, whatever you type to it, and then it will be able to understand what message you're passing to it and able to respond in a proper manner. Kind of makes you feel as though you're talking to an actual human being. So head over OpenAI, sign up and sign in. You'll be given an interface like this one where you can get to interact with ChatGPT. So one of the coolest thing it can do is to write music. It can write songs. It can program. It can teach you about various topics that you want to know about, and it's very effective, very efficient than having to go on Google and looking at doing your research, moving from one website to another. Just ask it and it's going to do that for you in split seconds. So this is an AI breakthrough. So let me show you a demo. Like for example, I'd say hello, and then it says, how can I help you? And then I'm going to ask it to write a song for me. Uh, write a song about, I can give it a specific topic and it's going to narrow down. So uh, say write a song about Python programming language. So it will understand what I need and it's going to uh, use the internet, the amount of data that is on the internet, and produce results that I need. So just give it a sec. It will process the message that I've given it, and then it is going to write a song. So this is such an amazing tool, such that people are terrified already. It was launched, I think. Yeah, there you go. So you have this one. So it was launched, I think, a few weeks ago, a few weeks, if not mistaken, yeah, by OpenAI, and people are going crazy about this software. So it can do a lot of things. It can code. It can write songs. It can write school reports. It can write your homework for you. It can write your dissertation program. Anything that you don't feel like doing, like the boring stuff, you can just automate it. So this is ChatGPT, and it's here 2023. So this is what we're experiencing right now. I don't know if you're able to see, it's writing a song for me right now. I don't need to stress about the lyrics. I don't need to stress about the words. I just give it explicitly what I want, and it's going to do that for me. If I wanted to change the second verse, I just tell it to change the second verse, and it's going to do that for me. So it's written a song, given as a bridge, the chorus, the verse one, and the verse two, and an outro. So this is amazing. This is like a a super intelligent chatbot that we have ever experienced. All right. So uh, if you watch Spider-Man, they say with great power comes great responsibility, something like that, huh? Yeah. So with these two, people are worried that it's actually going to take away people's job. Actually, I was one of the people who actually got frightened by a tool that can code. Like for example, I can say, how can I find the eigen value of a 2 by 2 matrix? So I'm giving it a question and it's going to process. Like for example, it can actually it knows a lot of things. It is intelligent. It can teach you math, it can teach you programming, it can do a lot of stuff, and people feel threatened. And this is just like a baby. It's like the first vision. This is the baby AI that we are interacting with, and it's amazingly intelligent. So give it 5 years, give it 10 years, it's going to so amazing enough. It's able to understand my question and actually give me solutions. Like for example, it's giving me an eigenvalue of a 2 by 2 matrix can be found by solving a characteristic equation which is observed by determining the determinant of a matrix subtracted by the identity matrix of the, for example, let's say the determinant of the matrix A. Now you're going to subtract a scalar value minus the identity matrix, which is if you do this, it's supposed to give you zero. That's how you find the eigenvalue as well as the eigenvectors. So I can even actually tell it to give me an example in Python. So I'm asking it to actually give me a practical example. You see, I've just said give me an example in Python, and it has already insinuated that I'm referring to eigenvalues. So it's going to go there and code. So it has created an NumPy array, which is the A value. And then it has also created a 2 by 2 matrix, which is a 3, 4, 2, 6. And then the eigenvalues and the eigenvectors pair. It's using a lean alg, which is known as the linear algorithm of this to find the eigenvalues. And then it's going to print the pairs in here, saying eigenvalues. So without output, so with the output, it's actually showing me the eigenvalue as well as the eigenvectors. So this is interesting and it's actually mind blowing. So the big question here is ChatGPT going to uh, take away people's jobs? Let's say the most stressing jobs, which is programming, or that's like the major job that the most job that people run away from. They say, okay, programming is a lot of work, and is it possible to actually automate the whole process of software development? That is, I think that's where the question should actually be focused on. That's when we can know for sure whether ChatGPT is going to take away programmers' jobs. So if you ask ChatGPT itself, let's say, are you going to take away the programmers' jobs? It's going to give me an answer, but obviously I expect a certain percentage or a certain level of bias with this answer, though. Yeah. So it says, as an AI language model, I'm not intended to take away jobs from programmers, but rather assist them in their tasks. Blah 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 and all that. Yeah. Um. That's what it's stating for now. These are the facts that we have right now. All right. That's what it's saying. Saying it's not designed to take away jobs, but rather to be an assistant. And I think this version of ChatGPT is actually useful for programmers because there are parts where you need to understand your code, like where you have to do your research on the project that you're doing. You head over to Stack Overflow, you find a similar problem, but not exactly the 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 the, the the problem you're facing. I think ChatGPT is a bit more useful in those cases when you're trying to debug your code. You can actually just come on ChatGPT, ask, and it's going to give you an exact answer that is going to work for you. So in that way, it's helping programmers, all right? It's helping programmers. So although you need to consider the limitations of ChatGPT. ChatGPT cannot process images, and it also cannot process text, voice rather. Yeah, it cannot. It only processes text. So meaning that the only way to communicate with this program is to use text, of course. So if you're going to develop a software using ChatGPT, then you definitely need a human being seated to be conveying the idea of whatever project is to be developed to ChatGPT. So that's only when that's only when that can be possible because ChatGPT on its own, its limitations is that it does not it lacks creativity. It doesn't act on its own. It does not have a soul. And then let me just say, what are the limitations? So it was trained on data that is on the internet. That is another limitation. So for data that is on the internet, not everything is true. Though its responses are formal, doesn't mean that everything it says it's true. So the weaknesses is that it has let me say training data. I was trained on a large uh, corpus of text, but my training data goes up to 2021. I may not have information more than license, event, or development. So that is one thing about ChatGPT. So the biasness, the data that was used to train, again, it has evidently reproduced. It contains some biases and inaccuracy. It's not like 100%. It wasn't like 100% pure data, but there was some levels of biasness and inaccuracies. So, meaning it's biased in its responses, right? So, it has a limited understanding. It doesn't have a full understanding of the context which the data that it's actually was trained on. So, actually, ChatGPT, when I ask a question from it, it goes on the internet and maybe try to find the solution on the internet and brings it to me. So, it will phrase the answer in its own words, in its own terms, so it doesn't copy and paste, but it actually rephrases whatever it finds on the internet and then gives it back to me. So whether that being true or not, so ChatGPT lacks judgment. So that's one area that it's lacking. So these are the limitations that have not yet been improved. So as we stand 2023, ChatGPT cannot take away programmers' jobs as we stand 2023. All right. So, but there's a chance if these limitations can be upgraded or can be surpassed or whatever correct term I can use. I mean, right. So, if these limitations can be overcome by ChatGPT, there is a chance that all right, machines can take away programmers' jobs, though it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take away teachers' jobs or other people's jobs. Yeah, you can have a system like this installed in your home, but for you to actually learn, you need someone to initiate a chat. ChatGPT does not initiate as the way a teacher would come to class at. All right. So my point is that ChatGPT for now lacks judgment for it to initiate what's this the things that teachers have like timetable planning out all those things and stuff. So for now ChatGPT is an assistant, so it actually helps in doing a lot of work. It's actually helping. So another interesting thing that you're supposed to consider when you talk about software development, it does not matter what programming language you're doing. It doesn't matter what programming language you're doing. One interesting to consider about software development is that it doesn't matter what programming language you're doing. It also doesn't matter what program you're doing. Actually, what matters is actually it doesn't matter what programming language you're doing. What matters is the logic behind your software. I mean, you can develop a cool app, right? And then someone just develops a simple website. Now, which of the two is going to solve people's problems, and the business logic behind the app that will determine the success of the project. So basically, ChatGPT can help you program, but not like developing solutions on its own, unless with the help of a human being, right? So this is just an assistant tool that was developed. So try to check it out. Uh, Comment out your own thoughts on ChatGPT and what do you think is it going to take away programmers' jobs or IT jobs in the future? All right. So thank you very much for watching. That's all for this video today. Thank you.